Caltrop is an area denial weapon designed to stop the enemy. The Caltrop is a sturdy, simple, yet effective weapon no matter its position. Its purpose was originally designed to stop elephant and donkey attacks. It graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the Caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the Caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Calderese is the Cow Trop.
Coming down the mountain from the heaven to the hell, the Mike Calderese, the Cow Trop, he never stops, so ring the bell. He bring the facts, he's been up every morning till we sleep. He get it deep, Mike Calderese, in your head and in your sheets. And we don't mind, and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the Cow Trop. And we don't mind, and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the Cow Trop. And we don't mind, and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the Cow Trop.
Good evening and welcome everybody to the Cow Trop. I am your host, Michael Calderese. Now, typically, I would have just played the episode, but I have just two announcements to make really quick before I get to our main event today. And our special feature tonight on a Thursday night, typically on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Two things. You're going to notice a edit in the middle of it. I do not edit my interviews, everybody. Everybody knows that. You get the full interview as long as it went. About 20 minutes in, I hit my computer started messing up. We had to stop. So if you see a moving, I think I did it good. But if you do see anything, it was because I had some technical issues. Also, this was filmed before Jackson started their major crackdown on these apartments. So stay tuned for after, because after the interview is completely over, Chris is going to join us again for about a quick 5 minutes just to discuss the truth about, what's going on, what they found, and basically give us all a firsthand update of the illegal rental crackdown that's going on in Jackson, New Jersey. And I believe that's it. So without further ado, guys, stay around for the end for that. But I hope you enjoy my interview with Councilman Chris Pollak. Thank you, guys. All right, everybody. I have a surprise for you. I have my man sitting next to me in the hot seat. The brand new chairs we just bought for the studio, kind of the brand new revamped studio. And if there was any ass cheeks that I wanted to sit in that chair first, it is my man Chris Pollak. Chris Pollak, how you doing, bud?
Thanks for having me. I'm good.
Doing great, man. So, listen, it's the last time we really spoke. The last time you came on the Cow Trop, you were running for council. Now you won unanimously. What's it been like, dude? Tell us about your first couple of months in there, dude. Was it exactly what you expected, a complete and total shit show, or what?
It's weird. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just strange. I never wanted to do this. It feels very surreal. Even just sitting here talking to you about freaking politics, about me being a politician of all things, right? I'm just the guy. I'm a freaking construction mechanic that works on rigs on high-rise buildings. I teach martial arts, and now I'm a stupid local politician. I mean it. I hate it. I think all the people I deal with are fake. They really are. I think everybody in their own mind thinks they're doing something good, but I think a lot of people are up to no good. I don't think they're doing the right thing. I think they have other motives. And I just want to do what I think is best for the people of this town. And just being in there with that mentality, that idea, it's horrible. And I'm a real guy. I try to be nice, but I don't want to be fake. And I see these people are fake.
So when you say motives, is that what you're talking about? Fakeness, overall fakeness? Or do you think it's more personal motives, personal ambition, or ambition to help their friends? Because for me, just for an outsider's perspective, looking in at Jackson, it looks like you have, just the same amount of nepotism that Brick and Tom's River and everyone else got, where it's I need to help my friends and my people and put in, regardless of the representation, who you represent, you really don't represent the people. You represent your friends and yourself. Is that what you're talking about as far as motives, or is it deeper and more disgusting than that?
No, I think it's deeper. I think
Okay.
it's way, way deeper. I think there's always that aspect of it. I think that's always going to happen. I think that's kind of normal and natural in a lot of ways, in a lot of places. But I think this goes way deeper. I think everybody has some personal motives. It's like, I'm going to climb the ladder and become somebody in politics, or I want to, they play the party games, or they suck up to whoever has power. There's definitely stuff like that. I'm going to be honest. Like, I have no problem saying it. I think there's tons of illegal things happening. I think there's money involved. I don't doubt it. Listen, I'm not making any claims, but I really believe there is. There's a lot of money on the lines. When you look at what's going on in our town, in many towns, you're talking billions. And I'm not joking when I say billions. When you talk about development, when you talk about residential homes, and you talk about all this stuff, it's literally billions of dollars of projects.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not think money is going to influence things? And when you're a politician and you're connected to developers, you're taking money from them, what is somebody going to think? That's why I refuse to ever take a penny from any developer, anybody connected to anything.
And it's funny because they spent, all those developers and all those people spent how many thousands of dollars trying to stop you in the first place, hit pieces and the whole 9 yards. But so you just got you got animated there, bro. So when I first met you, the thing that I liked about you is this stuff pissed you off because you knew it wasn't good for anybody involved. And you're right, dude. We're talking billions of dollars. And when I did that analysis of just the amount of assessed property value that different towns had versus Lakewood, for example, right? You had 25% of their town, 23.4% to be exact, right? But I round up to a quarter of their town that is not taxed.
I
But
think I've heard more from somebody else.
But that's the numbers that they're willing to give us. Yeah, I think it's actually more too. But I go off of, listen, if your official numbers tell a story, I'll go off of them, right? So, but you think about that number that's not being taxed is like $2.4 billion out of the assessed, I think, $11 billion worth of overall property value that is in Lakewood. So when you say billions of dollars, this is literally billions and billions of dollars. And how many billions in just overall money are these people going to be getting for the affordable housing mandate, for example?
It's huge. It's huge. I could go on about that.
Well, let's do it, man. I got nothing but time. You got nothing but time either.
To me, it is the biggest scam. It is the biggest scam that this town has ever done, has ever dealt with. The connection to the developers, the deals, where they're putting these things is insane. This is part of our master plan. We spent over $300,000 on a master plan, and you planned a ton of our affordable housing in the Pinelands. I'm going to get into this now. You know what? I was going to save it and kind of go at it, but
get into it. It's going to go wherever it's got to go. Or if you want to start there, because I know
we're going to go.
I know the environment's a big. From what I hear about Elliott, Elliott's really pushing the fact that Jackson's a rural town, bro. Right? So yes, go into that. What is the Pinelands? Tell everybody about what the plan actually is.
Well, the Pinelands is typically protected lands, right? It's very restricted. You can build on the Pinelands, but it's very restricted. You have to get certain allowances to actually build there. It's very difficult, but you can buy land in the Pinelands. And when building is restricted in an area, what do you think the pricing is going to be for it?
I would say a lot.
A lot? What? No, it's restricted.
No, restricted. So the price is going to be nothing. It's going to be like those unbuildable lots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So the pricing is going to be extremely low. You're going to get that land at a real low value because you can't really build on it. But then you're going to plan 58% of our affordable housing in the Pinelands. 58%. Planned. You planned this. You took time and money and you planned this for our town to put 58% of our affordable housing in the Pinelands.
So now you talk to someone like Morty. Morty would say that was responsible on his part because when you look at what the state was demanding versus what they actually got, he makes it sound like you're playing this. They played a really smart with a smart building plan. I'm giving you the critiques. You know what I'm saying? So
I know.
So this is the argument on the other side that otherwise the state would have hammered us and we would have been building on everything. It wouldn't just be 1,000 affordable housing units. It would be 2,000, 3,000.
No, It wouldn't be at all. You have your mandate. Your mandate's what, about 1,000? I think it was a little under 1,000. That's your mandate. You don't have to build in the Pinelands. There's no need for it.
Mm-hmm.
You plan to put 58% of the affordable housing in the Pinelands. Why did you do that? Oh, you know why? I know why. Because developers connected to him own the land. Because they bought that land at a discount. And now you're putting that they need to build their housing there. And you know what? They bought that land at a discount, and with your vote, you increased how much their land was worth.
Just like this.
Just like that.
Just like that.
And one vote, boom, done.
And it's millions and millions and millions of dollars. And
beyond that,
you know who's never going to see a penny of that million? They call that $1 million wound, right? Forrest Gump. Who does? I've never seen the government must keep that money because we never see a penny of that $1 million. Because it's the truth. Are we going to? What's the benefit now? Like, when everybody sits back and complains about this type of stuff, like we do, I try to look at it and say, where's the benefit for the regular taxpayer, where you're getting all of these houses that are being mandated? And let's get one thing very straight, Jackson. 1,000 affordable housing units means it's coming with about 5,000 to 6,000 regular units. So it's not all, right? It's not all affordable housing. Now, when you think about this, depending on who moves into these lots, you're going to have an estimated minimum of 10,000 cars, 2 cars per house, 10,000 cars. You could have up to 20 to 25,000 more cars, depending on who does move into these affordable housing lots, right? So when I ask this question, how does the regular citizen benefit? I want you to really think hard about this. Do we benefit at all from all this extra building? Or is Jackson going to get a lot of extra services? Like, do you guys have a DPW plan, or you're still going to have to pay for your own trash? Like, with all of these extra houses and all these extra units and all this extra tax money that's supposedly going to be coming in, what benefit is the regular Jackson person going to have?
We're not getting any benefit. I don't see it at all. What I see happening is higher taxes. What I see is more traffic, more density.
How do you have higher taxes if you're building 5,000 more units that are going to be supposedly paying into the taxes? How does that work, bro?
It's going to happen. How could it not?
I get it, but I want to know how it works. Like, you're in there. Can you give us like how does the math when you're trying to say that we need all this extra stuff? Does it all go towards the increased utilities? Like I don't understand how any of this works. Well, I do understand how it works.
What do you expect is going to happen? It's going to be a strain on our services, our schools, our roads, our everything. We're going to have to increase our spending on everything we do to accommodate the amount of people that are here. I don't think the tax base is going to help. And how many more, do we want to be like Lakewood? Do we want a bunch of tax exempt buildings there? Because we keep forcing them in our residential neighborhoods. This is a whole nother topic. I'm still on the affordable housing, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, we're still on the affordable housing mandate. And you're right, though. But it's the truth, though, because how many of those are going to be obviously Section 8 that can receive up to tax credits? How many of them are going to be religious buildings that are going to be built? How many of them are going to be tax sheltered, tax exempt, not taxed at all? The schools, all this stuff.
I got to tell you, with the affordable housing, I didn't even get into it. They put it 58% in the Pinelands, and they increase the density for it.
And they increase the density. So you take a restricted area that it's tough to build on, but you overbuild on that restricted area. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, we don't want density. Listen, I've come to the reality here. You can't stop some of the building, right? People are going to buy land and they're going to build, right? You can't stop it. We don't own all the land.
Yeah, it's tough.
We do have an open space fund to purchase land, but we can't purchase all the land, especially with the price now. But land's going to get built on. My thought process isn't density. I don't want density. Density just leads to a city. We don't want a city. No one wants a city. But increasing density is the wrong thing. Personally, I believe building out is better than building up. I understand building out, land is going to be gone. It sucks. But I think it's going to be more responsible. Well, it's the Westgates. I think what everybody in our area, and that nobody really wanted to deal with in that Tyler video, was the fact that Westgate is everything wrong with Lakewood.
Okay, that community with all those apartment complexes with the shops right in the middle of it that have way more people in one tiny area than you could ever put. And what happens is it floods the area. Then people start driving worse, and then we increase accidents. You look at that Tri-County Scanner News, man. They are reporting on an accident in Manchester, Lakewood, Toms River area. Always the borders of these areas. Every single day, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, and it's bad accidents. And everyone wonders, like, how does that affect us? Well, you have your insurance goes skyrocketing because now we're in a high risk area. Ocean County is now deemed one of the most traffic, like the most accidents ever. It's because people start driving like assholes when you have too many people. So yeah, spreading out makes a hell of a lot more sense. But would you mind spreading out in the Pinelands and not up?
I prefer to spread out than up. I think up is a disaster. I think up creates a city. We don't want a city. If there's
you don't want a city, but people like Richie Roberts wants a city.
They do. Screw him. He doesn't live here.
He said that Jackson's an extension of Lakewood. That's his words. We were deemed anti-Semitic for saying that. Like, I'm not even playing around. A year ago, everything that guy spoke about, Richie Roberts, we said for years and years and years. When he says it, he's not anti-Semitic. When I say it or you say it, we are anti-Semitic. Isn't it funny how that works out? But he confirmed everything that everybody's been saying, right? So Jackson is just an extension of Lakewood, is it not?
No, it's not. Never has been. Jackson has been. There's people who've lived in Jackson for generations, man. It's just. And listen, I'm a transplant. I have no problem saying that. I've been there over 7 years at this point. But man, I speak to people all the time who their parents have lived there. Their grandparents are from there. They've lived there for hundreds of years, man. It is not a conquest. And I've heard this directly. Bill Spadea. Did I say his last name right?
Spadea. You said it right this time.
I said it right this time?
Yeah. Spadea. You were calling him Spadea for a little while.
He's great. That man should have been our governor. We have a piece of garbage as our governor right now. I have no problem saying that.
Yeah, we have 2 pieces of garbage running off. Yes.
He should have absolutely been our governor. But he outright said it. He met with the rabbis from the Vod, and they said, we're taking over these towns. These are his words. Why does he have a reason to lie for it? He said this right on the radio.
That's their words. It's not just his words. It's their words. When it's our words, again, there's a problem, right?
It used to be, Mike, right? They're saying there's a takeover of the town. You're anti-Semitic.
You're anti-Semitic.
Their leaders are saying it. That's
over
wrong.
And over and over again.
And I'm not saying it's the Jewish people. I'm saying it's their leadership saying this, and it's wrong.
Yes. So anything else before I move on to the next thing? Anything as far as affordable housing mandate? Like, let's touch one more thing before we get into that, because I want to circle back to this conversation, because you're seeing a lot of me and you are being attacked for this type of stuff. But let me ask you a question: what is the balancing act between the state and the local governments with the affordable housing? Let's touch on that aspect of it before we move on to another part.
The state screws us.
Okay.
Our local power
period
gets screwed by the state. The state forces it on us. I think there was about 20 or so towns brought it to the Supreme Court, and I believe they wouldn't hear it. They weren't going to take the case because they didn't think it was worth it. So, they lost on that. They took it to the state.
Trans boys and girls sports, 2 up in Rhode Island. That takes precedence over ridiculous land grabs and our LUPA laws. So isn't it unbelievable? Now, let me ask you a question. How do you rationalize the Democrats that run this state, that claim that they're for the environment, yet they're trying to put offshore wind farms that are out there that, I don't care what anybody says, that straight up killed whales and dolphins? We've never seen that many whales and dolphins washing up on the shores than when they were doing that sonar, and that's just fact. And then you look at it and they say they love the environment, but we have to build on all of our wetlands. Like they tried making brick when they said we needed 366 affordable housing units. It included some of our open wetlands and some of our non-buildable lots. All of that stuff was included in this. So they are trying to cut down every single tree while saying they're for the environment. I don't know how any of that kind of hashes out, but you see it at the local level because it's forced onto us, right?
Yeah.
So you basically, what can you do about the 1,000 affordable units that have to be built?
It needs to be planned responsibly.
Okay.
And it needs to be given to the right people. I really believe that the developers that were given these projects are linked through donations, are linked through political connections.
So,
I really believe
they're
they are.
voted in a lot of the times
I'm
with,
gonna be
with these
honest
county
with you.
commissioners and all that. You look, Frank Sadeghi, that guy is, you can't tell me there's not a conflict of interest in being in the government, but also being
And
an
being a
engineer
builder
and
in
being
real
a builder
estate.
and knowing all of those people. How's that not a
Being
conflict of
engineering.
interest?
I know.
How is your mayor being involved in all of that not a conflict of interest? How are you able to be mayor and negotiate a lot of the, I don't know if she negotiated, but she's in the real estate business
Yes.
and has all those ties to it. How are you able to commingle those two different things? Because her interests to me don't seem like the interests of the people in Jackson. Am I wrong for thinking that?
That's, I think, what a lot of people think, Mike. And I guess their argument on the other side, look, I have experience dealing with this and that. It's like, I don't care about your experience. I care about your decision-making to do the right thing. I care about you not being influenced by money, by deals, by people, because you do deal with people who deal with the town. You do deals for people who are making these land deals. You're involved with them, and you shouldn't be. This is why I've refused to talk to any single person. I've been contacted by a developer, no response, because I don't care. I'm going to do the right decision. And I got to tell you, with this affordable housing, with the density, we went and we made a decision that was going to hurt a developer by lowering density. Cool. I'm voting yes for it. I voted yes along with them. But it's a developer that's not connected to the people in charge, right? Then we go to the affordable housing, and then we increase the density for all the people involved with that project. How does that sit right? And I warned about it when I first made my vote. And then I said something about it when I made my vote no on the affordable housing. I don't think decisions are being made for the right reasons. They can say things, they could try to do things. I think they generally try to do a lot of good things, because you can't just do bad things. You're going to get your ass voted out.
My dad always just say, don't try, do. Stop fucking trying. Excuse my language. Stop trying. But I gotta, when I hear some stuff like that too, because you're right, they try to do, I think the personal thing, they're very good at masking that they want to try. I don't think they're actually doing.
I think they do some stuff to help.
Okay.
I think they do. You have to, or you're going to lose your job. This is the thing. They're scared as hell right now, Mike. Me winning this election changed the game out here. You have our mayor, who was just the meanest, nastiest, shrill.
You saw her
woman.
day one with you.
Like, just a mean, nasty woman to everybody. Now she's making videos like, oh yeah, I'm your friendly mayor. Come meet the mayor.
Watch me shovel snow.
She just was reading books to children. And it's funny. I know somebody who brought her children to the meeting, and she made like a nasty comment about her bringing her kids to the meeting. Like this is who she is. She's fake. They're all fake.
They're all fake. But so you tell me though, because you be catching a lot of garbage, I guess, because you vote no and you speak out. Why hasn't everything completely changed yet, Chris? Like, tell me. I mean, you are you're the hero of Jackson Township, right? And I want to put everybody. I want to address this because I see it with some of the things that I'm doing, right? I'm called a lot of very positive things. Thank you, and I love every single one of you for doing that. But you do have one vote, correct? Like your vote doesn't override every other vote.
Just so people understand, there's 5 people on the council. I'm one person, right? There's another guy, Nino Borelli, great guy who votes his conscience, does the right thing, and he always has. I'm really appreciative. He's a very good guy. You have 3 votes that are going to vote the same way just about every time. I don't know if they've ever voted differently, maybe once, maybe twice. But there's only me and one other guy who's willing to vote the other way. But you need 3 votes. Even when you have 3 votes, the mayor can still veto things.
Okay. So
you got 3 votes that vote one way, that vote in lockstep, and then you have a mayor who's linked up with them as well. So
you need 3 votes and a mayor, basically. It's
do.
really what's going to be coming down.
In order to make a difference, you need 3 votes and the mayor. Good thing there's an election coming up in November.
And it just so happens that you may have 3 votes and a mayor. If everything goes the way.
Let me break some news.
If everything goes good for Jackson, go ahead, break some news.
I'll break some news on your podcast right here. I am going to be running again. I haven't officially announced it. This is for a 1-year term.
Okay.
I'm a psycho. I ran for a 1-year term.
Yeah.
Went through hell, slander, trying to destroy my reputation for 1 year.
And you're running again now. So
Damn
they
right.
need your vote again.
Yeah, we're running again. I'm going to be running for the full 4-year term. Elliot Shemtov is going to be running for mayor. Amanda Trombetta is going to be running for the other council seat. And we're going to be running together as the Fight for Jackson ticket. So it's official. It's going to be happening. And this is the true chance for change. But Mike, I'm not selling like I'm going to save the town. I'm some type of, we're going to try our best. Because what's been going on has been going on for a long, long time. And
it needs everybody. It cannot be 3 people. Let me ask you this. We are called, because of this Tyler video, all different types of names, bro. I know you've been attacked. I've been attacked. Some people are saying you're losing support over that. You're called an anti-Semite. So am I. Yet you're running with obviously a Jewish guy. Right. So do me a favor. Tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you hate Jews? Because people think it's a 10. And number 2, tell me about Elliot a little bit and just about, who he is as a whole.
I don't hate anybody.
So you're not a rabid, ridiculous, like you don't hate anybody. No, like all Jews. You don't hate all Jews.
No, I don't hate anyone.
Okay.
I really don't hate it. There's nobody that I hate. There's no people. There's no religion. There's no ethnicity that I hate. I hate bad people, most certainly.
Yes.
And I'm not saying all of certain people are bad. I think it's just nonsense. I think it's silliness. I think people like to label others when they don't like what you have to say. Let's be honest. Anti-Semitism, like calling somebody anti-Semitic, has lost its power because it's been overused. It's been used to attack people. It's been used to try and destroy people's lives for years and years. And people aren't buying it anymore. There are people who are genuinely hateful out there, and I think that's wrong. Everybody should be judged on who they are, the decisions they make, and their actions. It has nothing to do with religion. Is religion involved in a lot of what's going on? Unfortunately. But I think it's a lot of powerful and rich people hiding behind religion, using that as an excuse to get away with their bad things and make that bag.
And they're getting away with it, right? So tell me a little bit about your team, because you're one of the things that is expected of you, obviously, is that you are going to be a superhero. You're going to come in. Your vote trumps everybody else's vote. You could solve overpopulation by yourself. You could solve all these issues by yourself. You could even stop people from being forced out of their houses all by yourself. But tell us, why hasn't it happened yet?
I've only been in a couple months.
So you can't stop all of this in a couple months, bro?
It's not so easy. I am one man on a council of 5. There's one other really good guy on there, Nino Borelli. He votes his conscience. He votes what he thinks is right, plain and simple. You have 3 other people voting in lockstep, and you have a mayor who's on their same side. You have the boards also controlled as well. So you got to understand the odds are stacked against me. I'm just one guy standing apart from the rest. And when I came in, I came in strong and tough because that's who I am. I'm a tough guy in a lot of ways. But I never pretended I was going to change the world. I was going to, but I did promise I'm going to fight. And I believe everything you see I'm doing, I am doing. I am fighting. I am speaking out. I am voting against the things I see wrong. And I'm going to keep fighting till I can't fight anymore. But good news is there's an election coming up. We have the mayor seat is up, and we have a second council seat up, and mine is up as well. I'm going to be running for my seat, and I'll get a 4-year term this time. So I'll actually have some time to do something and work and fight even more. 1 year is not a lot of time in the world of politics.
No, it's not a lot of time at all.
No,
I mean, 4 years isn't a lot of time. Look at how quickly presidents come and go, and how nothing gets done with them at all. But what are you and Elliot about, right? Because you have, it's an interesting dichotomy that you're running with a Jewish guy while you're also being told that you hate Jews, right? So which is it? Do you love them or hate them? You know what I'm saying? It's like one of these things. And I think I think everybody, the name Shemtov is gonna throw everybody if you ask me, because it's one of those things where people have said to me, I don't think I could vote for this guy just because he's Jewish, right? And what I want to do is ask a lot of the Jewish people out there, how does that make you feel? How does it make you feel as a regular, non-powerful Jewish person that everyone thinks we're talking about them? We're not. Me. Like, if you ask me, some of the videos I do are to help a lot of you guys, because I don't think you like the crime and the double standards and how you get made to look by some of these people either, right? Am I wrong about that? But tell me a little bit about Elliot on who he is.
Elliot, yeah, he's Jewish, but he's a Christian, actually.
Okay.
By the way, he's the guy who'll go to the local bar CG's and have a bacon cheeseburger with me.
Kosher bacon cheeseburger
on a Friday night. Not kosher, but he's just a great guy who cares. And I think he's an interesting figure to be mayor, because he does understand coming from a Jewish family, but also being on the other side of it as well. I think he's a great figure, hopefully to unite people and make things a little bit better.
See, the unite people and make it better. Okay. And it's something that I think gets lost in the BS that surrounds what we are trying to talk about and what we're trying to push, is the fact that we want one group over the other. I want a united group. I want one community. I don't want many communities. One of the things that I don't think is talked about, Chris, and it's one of the things that has to be talked about, is everyone hears about the fear on one side. Oh, we live in fear over being attacked. We live in fear. And listen, I'm not hating. What I'm going to do is I'm going to point it the hell out, but you're not forced out. You're willingly leaving. Why don't you do me a favor and address that? And basically, what do you think your team could do to come? And what wound up happening to them is they lost their restaurant. The restaurant they went to, the bar that they went to, they stopped having, the amount of people that were going there. So what happens? They closed. So now they had to travel into Howell or travel into Brick if they wanted to get something to eat, which, in certain areas of Jackson is a 30-minute trip. And if you have to go through Lakewood, it could be even longer than that, right? So when you have that, and then you lose your supermarket, and then you lose your neighbors, you are forced out in a way, because to me, you're forced to change your life to a different life that you never accepted. Like I call it forced theocracy, because to me, Lakewood's a full theocracy. When you see it, when you see that mass stretching out into Jackson, into Howell, and it is forcing that way of life on everybody else. And I think it's something that has to be discussed, because the people, it is not anti anything to defend people's way of life that don't want that other way of life forced on them, right? Does that make sense to you?
Of course it does. It's, Mike, let's be real. The Jewish population is a minority of the population. It doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it, does it?
It doesn't feel like it at all. They're a minority of the population. Do they deserve the things that they need in their lives? Of course they do. No one's saying that. But it's being forced upon the majority of the population in a really, I feel like it's an irresponsible way. It's a do this or we're going to sue you. Do this or we're going to destroy you.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that's happening, and the majority of people don't agree with everything you want. And your things, listen, whether you want to admit it or not, are not for everybody else. I'm sorry. When you really break this down, we have a certain society, a certain community that's very open to everyone. We don't care who you are, how you practice, what you do. We don't have these restrictive rules. But then you bring in a community with extremely restrictive rules
and extremely special needs.
Things a certain way, has to be done this way, and it's for the specific community. It's not right. And on the other end, let's say you're a business owner, let's say you own a Italian supermarket, right? Italian market. Is anybody from that other community going to ever shop at your place?
No, they can't.
You're going to go out of business. Mm-hmm. How are they supposed to?
And they call that a free market. They'll say, oh, but that's the free market. No, it's not, because you have a closed market in a free market. And this is what everybody's missing, right? Not all of your stores. Take a clothing store, for example. If you wear just Jewish clothing, that's not going to appeal to somebody that's wearing a life, liberty, and happiness, t-shirt, right? There's not one thing. I'm not wearing the big Russian hat, although I want to get one, but I don't have 10 G's to spend on it. I would love to see Caltrop in one of those. Rabbi Caltrop. Have you seen Rabbi Caltrop? Rabbi Caltrop knows his stuff. But you know what I'm talking about? Like, these stores are specifically for one group of people.
Yes.
And whether you want to say it or not, Tyler and I walked into one of those gourmet glots. I was on camera walking through it, speaking very highly about the place, and we still got kicked out of it. Right? We got trespassed by Lakewood cops out of there. So, dude, it's one of the things that I love that you did without fear is you don't fear the name calling to represent a community that isn't represented. And I don't care what anybody says. There's a reason why me and you get the response that we do, because the thing that I hear the most is finally somebody says it. Finally, there's somebody fighting for us, because our voice is never the one that's heard. Our fears are never heard. Our concerns are never heard. And not only that, our fears, our concerns, and our voices are always shut up because of some type of label. And you've gotten canceled because of it. How many times you got canceled on Facebook at this point?
Oh yeah, I've been banned. I'm banned as a human being on Facebook. Like I can't make any type of. I mean, well, I'm not joking.
They actually added you, I heard, to their community standards, because Chris Pollak goes against community standards.
I'm not allowed on Facebook.
Yeah, like your person
as an individual, I'm
as
not
a
allowed
person
on Facebook
yes.
at all.
Yeah.
Like I've been banned, and that was my personal account that had like 200 people on it got banned. When I was speaking out against the government, I was speaking out against, what's going on in Jackson. I was speaking out against Richie Roberts, a very powerful guy. And I did nothing that broke terms of service, not even close to it. Compared to some of the stuff you do and say.
Hey, whoa.
I'm being honest, Mike. Come on.
I am an angel.
But
you're 100% right. I say things like, you guys are Semite supremacists. You have never approached any of that stuff. I think I am way more abrasive online. You know what the difference is, though, me and you, Chris? I say everything with a smile on my face. That's what my buddy says. He goes, Mike, no matter what you say it while you're cheesing. So it doesn't matter. It's all fun at that point. But I'm joking. But you're right. I say way more abrasive stuff than you ever have, and I'm waiting for my day to be canceled.
Why people support me? Because I say what people feel
and think.
But
yes.
Somebody in my position wouldn't say because they're afraid.
Not only that, Chris, one of the things that I do like about you, and you didn't get in and change your methods. You didn't get in and all of a sudden start just going along and getting along, because I'll compare it. We have some brick Republicans that got in, and until I started complaining, they were just voting along with everybody else. And now all of a sudden, this last one, you see a no vote on the affordable housing stuff that was already litigated in court. So it's a show vote that they could vote no, because they know they have 4 Democrat yeses. So they could all do this. Then they make some campaign ad already that they're already campaigning about. We're standing up for the, no, the hell you're not. Stop pretending, because you know what? Up until the fact that I pointed out that you guys were doing the same thing, it was the same council meeting. It was the same yes or no votes. It was the same exact thing that I witnessed with all Democrats, with Republicans there. All of a sudden they're fighting back for the people. It's such a joke.
Well, I get it, though. It's funny being in this position. I'm in a unique place where I'm living it, and I'm free to talk about it. I get what happens to people when they get involved in politics, because don't you think that creeps into my mind sometimes? It'd be real easy to just to vote along with them. It'd be real easy to go along with them. It'd be real easy to do this. It'd be real easy to get the block vote.
It'd be real easy to take all the. Think about how much the regular ass developer, the regular politician, like if you were in the Brick Republican Club and you just saw your videos, you would want to get you on their side because you're convincing.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like,
oh, they're trying.
They're trying.
Of course, from the opening moment I got in, they were like, oh, they got their ass kicked, so they knew, oh, we got to try to bring this guy in and work with him. And listen, they're trying.
It'd be real easy, wouldn't it?
They're trying to milk me. I know what they're doing from the start. They're trying to use my good name and my goodwill with the people to make themselves look better. It's happened from day one since I started there. But I just really believe they're no good. I think they need to be gone. We need to clean this government out. We need to clean out the zoning board, the planning board, the attorneys. They all need to freaking go. I mean everyone. Yeah. And I don't care who it hurts, who gets upset. I have to fucking work with these people, Mike.
Yes, dude. Listen,
I have to look them in the face. I hate them. Believe me, they want to post some passive aggressive garbage online about me.
Oh, you're a liar. Every day is a different lie story about you.
One of them gets, one of the council people goes, oh, you got offended by my post? I'm like, No, I don't do this passive aggressive stuff, man. You want to be a lackey to the establishment? You go ahead. I want nothing to do with you.
And it's funny because they're all been involved in government for a really long time. Yet one of the things that I hear, let's address a couple critiques about you. How about that? I've already addressed the anti-Semitism shit, right? How about this? You're a liar when it came to the police, the chief lawsuit.
I'm not sure what I lied about.
I don't know if you lied about anything, but that's what's being said, right? You're a liar. One of the things that's being said is that you were
point by point.
Point by point. Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
you are a liar when it came to what that lawsuit was about, because I believe you claimed that there was Congress or the councilmen that were saying that this is going to be a lawsuit because this guy had more power than the mayor. And by the way, you weren't involved in government when this happened.
No,
correct?
I was not involved in government.
The people that were currently there were.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's break this down, right?
Let's break it down.
The chief of police lawsuit ended in $2 million settlement, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of money for our town.
But it was just back pay.
Well, this is the issue that, listen, it happened. It sucks. It's awful. I disagreed with the decision making. There were 2 councilmen at the time who warned this can cause problems. This could cause legal troubles. They didn't want to listen. They went along and they did it anyway, right? Our now mayor, who was the council president at the time,
voted yes.
Now council president, who was on the council, who
voted yes
as well. Both were big supporters of this. They use the meetings to blast the police chief. Whatever issues there are, you don't use the meetings to do that. You keep that personal. That caused bigger tensions and bigger issues that obviously led to a lawsuit, whether you want to admit it or not. But creating this new safety director role,
they didn't want to admit it,
with an officer of a lower rank caused a problem. You were part of this. Just admit that. And then they acted like they did everybody a favor by settling for $2 million and go, we're cleaning up the mess of the former administration. And they said it was about back pay, not mentioning anything else about the lawsuit. That infuriated me. If they would have came out and said, hey, listen, we're just happy that this is settled. We want to move forward. We're sorry this happened. You know what? I wouldn't have got riled up and upset about it. But they decide they're very deceptive. And all they want to do is cover their ass. Nobody's willing to be freaking honest anymore. Mm-hmm. Have they ever been honest, Mike? I don't know. Right?
They're dishonest as they're calling everybody else liars. And the funniest part that I found about this was, as you were being called a liar, there were people that were going back in the past council meetings. The cat lady, for example. I'm not going to say her name, but she goes to the cat lady on one of my chats.
She's famous now.
She's famous, but think about it. It's funny that all of this is recorded, and we could catch you lying in real time, and then watch your argument switch kind of in real time, and it's just funny.
They think we are all stupid. We have a short-term memory. I've heard somebody say that.
Well, you're with Rena, right? That's another
complete
criticism.
We'll get to that.
Rena is your best friend, and you defend him, and Rena's the reason why this police, it's all his fault, right? It's nobody else. It was nobody else in that council's fault that did this. It was all him, right?
They just want to blame the former administration for everything. Okay.
They are the former administration. This is the thing that gets me crazy. You're part of it. You voted with him.
Our now mayor ran for her council seat with the former mayor. Our council president was appointed by the former mayor. It's just, what do you mean? You're more connected to them than me. You guys
how
involved
connected
in his last thing?
How connected are you to him?
I speak to him on occasion.
Okay,
I speak to him on occasion. That's how connected I am.
All right.
I have no problem admitting that I speak to the guy. He was the mayor for 18 years. You know what?
Learn from him.
Once in a while, I give him a phone call. I'm like, yo, what's going on with this? Or once in a while, he might get pissed off at something and give me a phone call about something. That's it. He has nothing to do with what I do, my decision making, nothing to do with my campaign. He's just the former mayor who I speak to on occasion. I have no problem admitting it. That
who happens to be Richie Roberts' best friend, along with Morty and the rest of it.
Richie Roberts, who donated $60,000-$70,000 to Mordecai.
The one who toppled. In his words, he personally toppled the government.
Mike, we're getting all over the place.
We are. Sorry, buddy.
I'm going to be honest here.
What's that?
Because I could get into. You want to get into the background of Jackson? We get into the background of Jackson. How this?
Dude, I'll go. Listen, you're the one that has a timetable here. I would like to get. I would like to get everything out. I would like to get it all out, bro. Because I do want to know. I want to have this. I want to set the foundation of this whole thing, bro, because you have a situation here where you definitely have powerful billionaires that are not elected, that have toppled your government, that have admittedly toppled your government in Jackson. And everybody, the residents of Jackson, I want to ask you, how does it feel that a guy you never heard of toppled your government, and now you're saddled with all the building and all the overdevelopment and all of the garbage from a DOJ investigation and 2 calls or 3 calls into the White House that I don't want to mention who I called and who I talked to at the time, right? But you have all this going on by a Lakewood billionaire who says Jackson is just an extension of Lakewood. And this is the stuff that you are fighting. This is what we're getting into. So yes, and you are being blamed, right? And this is the criticism that's coming. You're being blamed for those people, those connections, because they're your friends, right?
Not my friends.
They're not your friends. Okay.
Not my friends.
So you're not Richie Roberts' friend?
I probably am a big enemy of his.
Did you go groveling back to him like they said the mayor did? Because that's his words. The mayor went crawling back to him on his hands and feet, begging the Jewish community for their vote. That's, again, his words, not mine.
I've never spoken to Richie Roberts.
You wearing your knee pads right now for Richie? No?
What?
No, you didn't go crawling up to him? No?
Never spoke to the guy. In fact, I'm sure I pissed him off quite a bit already. And I'm about to do it again.
Good.
If people don't know who this guy is a super wealthy, influential leader from the Orthodox community in Lakewood. And he's very influential in what's going on in every one of our towns, whether you realize it or not. He's got big money, big connections. This is a guy connected to the president of the United States.
And how far back does this go, right? We're talking about 2017 when all this stuff took place, where he got the DOJ investigation.
Yes.
Then you have wasn't your council president also involved in suing Jackson? Didn't that also take place?
I'm not sure. It was a little before my time with that.
I think Morty was involved in that. I think he was involved.
No. Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. So yes, so our current council president was involved in the initial lawsuit
suing the town
because it was the town's anti-Semitic and they're doing all these things.
So the guy,
I believe he was operating an illegal shul at the time.
Well, listen.
And now he decided to file a lawsuit against the town over it, and he got involved with the larger lawsuit in which this rich and powerful, influential guy, Richie Roberts, made some phone calls and got the Department of Justice to come down on the town. It's just
so one of the guys. What you're saying is one of the guys that took part in castrating Jackson and their ability to say no to anything religious is now the guy that is on the council seat, and he's one of the ones that was
powerful person in Jackson,
and he's also overseeing a master plan that they're trying to say came from smart building, to where he was not trying to create Lakewood, which we all know is going to create Lakewood.
Correct.
Right. So this is what you're saying. This goes back all the way back to then. It's the same exact people now saying that they want to stop what they started. Did I read this whole thing correctly?
I think you're fair on it. I think I'll be very nice and say I think they don't want it to exactly be Lakewood, but you know what's happening.
Everybody says they want it to be don't want to be Lakewood. We spoke about affordable housing, and we said they could bring just the affordable housing mandate is going to bring 25,000 people potentially.
I'm saying more.
Right. So
Mike, it's going to be more.
It's going to be more, but this is what I'm talking about. You're talking about 50, 60, 70, 80,000 people.
You're talking about a 50% population increase
within the next 5 to 10 years?
10 years.
Yeah.
Let's say about 10 years. In about 10 years.
So there you go. You're Lakewood. You're Lakewood without saying, like, everyone could say we don't want Lakewood, but the fact of the matter, Lakewood is expanding. And every single place Lakewood expands to turns into Lakewood. This isn't like hey, we're going to keep it one way and not. No, every place it goes into, the traffic gets increased, the density gets increased, the amount of people get increased, the cars get increased, the amount of one population gets increased. And you see that over and over and over and over again. And this is what, so you could be nice. I won't. What I see from far away is I see powerful interests that have got powerful people in your government that started the Jackson becoming Lakewood, and they're continuing Jackson becoming Lakewood while saying we don't want Jackson to be Lakewood. That's what I see.
Yes, of course. They want to pretend. But it's funny, the people moving in from Lakewood don't want it to become Lakewood. That's the funny thing. This is the whole
regular,
weird, bizarre,
the regular
circular...
Jewish people out there. I hear this from everybody. They say to me and you, we moved here because we don't want Lakewood. The same thing they said in Manchester. We moved here because we don't want Lakewood. Yet they're bringing Lakewood into the neighborhoods with everything that they bring, right? And this isn't, again, I get it. You have the religion part, but when your religion brings Lakewood, you can't say we don't want it. It's almost a thing where it's like it just comes with you. Unfortunately, even if you don't want it, this is what's coming, regardless of whether you guys want it or not. How am I wrong in that assessment? I don't believe I am.
No, I don't believe so. I think.
So what are the solutions, bro? Are there? What do you think an honest solution is? Because this is the problem that I see with this whole anti-Semitism, hate debate, zoning, all this stuff. What I see is one population that is forced to capitulate, and I see another population that will never be asked to give up anything their God tells them to do. And their God tells them to do 500 and something commandments. Okay. So when you have that, how do you thread a needle, bro, between for living together? And I'm hopeful that someone like Elliot could do it, because I do think you need a person that understands both sides in order to bring both sides together. I think that's necessary. But we talked about people being forced from their homes. We talked about, bags of, cash, briefcases of cash, and restaurants closing. Those supermarkets, they don't have a non-kosher section, which I think they should have at least some vested interest in bringing people that aren't Jewish into their stores. Like, are there any possible solutions to where one group doesn't have to completely change their life for the other, and vice versa? Do you see anything that is possible? And I'm gonna tell everybody this right now as you're thinking. I have been asking this question to everybody, and I don't know if anybody has a great answer. So I'm not expecting a great answer for you, because I don't think I have it in of myself.
You're real freaking honest about it.
Yes, I do.
I think you need change within the Jewish community. Let's be good.
Let's be real.
They're going to get really pissed off that I'm saying this, but it's the truth. You're following some of your laws. Came from who? Did all these laws come from God?
No, they came from rabbis.
But this is what I'm saying. Somebody's interpretation you've been following as your religion is going to impede on everybody else's lives. It's a problem. I'm sorry.
And it hurts them too, because one of the things that I always say is that, I did a
Mike,
show.
I heard somebody say they can't tie their shoelaces on, what is it, Shabbos? Is it like because they can't do work? I swear I've heard crazy things. I'm not joking. But like, what is going on?
But there's a why component to all of this, right? Why is it that all of these things have to happen, and why is it that I have to accept it, or I'm a certain way? I ask why a lot, and there's a thing where it's like, you just hate, and you just hate us, and it's like, do you ever stop to think why certain groups hate other groups? Where does it all come from? And it's like, listen, I asked this question with the war in Iran, like, why are these people fighting? I want to understand what happened at the start of why people got into these conflicts. And in order to do that, I think that's the way we stop this stuff, right? Because I am trying to find some way that we could coexist. And I think you're dead on. The regular non-Jewish person has given enough. We've given enough for your religion. I don't know why I'm being forced to acquiesce to your religion when you're not forced to acquiesce to anything about my life. Now, I live my life. Who's to say I'm not calling it my religion? I want to start the Caltropianism or a religion. You know how much you have to do to actually start a religion. It's not as easy as you think. You need bylaws and all this other crazy stuff, which I am working on. But my life has no problem being infringed upon for others. And I don't think that's the way it's supposed to work. But you see with our Lupa, that's what's going on.
The religious over the non-religious,
and that's exactly what's happening.
And that's the argument on the anti-Arlupa side, and I tend to agree with it. I don't think you can favor one over the other. People do deserve religious freedom, but when your religious freedom infringes on other people's lives, what's the counter to that?
Well, the counter is conversation. If you ask me, like, the way to understand everybody and the solution to all of this is sitting down in that chair where you are and talking. And I have been You know, there's a lot of, real quick, there's a lot of people that call us names, and there's a lot of people that say what took place in that Tyler video, for example, is wrong. There's lies, nothing but lies. I'm a liar. Tyler's a liar. You're a liar. Jenna's a liar. We're all liars for what we put forth in that video. Yet every single person that I have asked, come here, sit down. We could do it on Zoom. We could do it there. Come confront me about what lies I be told. Nobody wants to confront me. Nobody wants to have a conversation. Nobody wants to sit there. I'll give Mordecai somewhat credit, but he keeps talking about coming back on. I hope he does after this. But nobody wants to sit there and actually have a real conversation about what is actually taking place on why people in Ocean County feel the way they do. We're not hateful people. And I get pissed, and I don't get pissed easy. But when people call all of the groups of people that are living in diversity in Ocean County some type of thing, it bothers the hell out of me. That's why I'm challenging everybody. That's why I go at people as hard as I possibly can. But what is needed is understanding on how they affect everybody else around them. And I think they live in such an insulated bubble that they don't understand fully on how they affect everybody around them. And the thing is, call names and then just, not talk about anybody. We're going to call you names. We're going to label you. We're going to shut you up. We're going to cancel you. But we're not going to talk to you. And that, to me, bothers me. I think we could solve this with mutual understanding and mutual respect. Mutual respect is the thing. Sorry, I cut you off, but go ahead. I wanted to get that out.
No, you're good. I think we should just put it out there. If the rabbis from the VOD, leaders from the Orthodox community,
talk right to the computer. Roberts, they're watching you. Look right in the camera and say that. Come talk to us.
If they want to come talk to us, they can come talk to us.
Let's have a round table.
Let's do it live. Let's do it live. Let everybody hear the conversation. This is a conversation that needs to be
Are you
had.
afraid of that conversation, Chris?
I'm not.
Let me say,
I came in office to have this conversation.
If I set that up tomorrow and you had 3 rabbis say, all right, we'll take you up on it. Let's sit down and hash these out. Would you do it tomorrow?
I would do it. I think it needs to be done because we've been skirting this issue for years and years and years. And you know what's been coming out of it? Division and hate. We need to have these conversations. Some people will be like, why'd you do that Tyler video? Because I'm talking about real issues that are affecting our community. And if we continue to be silent about it, the hatred and the division will only grow worse. You can claim that we're stoking whatever you want to say. We're stoking up some hate and this and that. No, we're speaking what people feel. We're speaking what's happening. You know what? We might not agree on some stuff. You may think I'm wrong on some things. I may think you're wrong on some things. But the truth lays somewhere in the middle. And unless we have that conversation, are we ever going to find that truth? Are we ever going to find a way forward where there's not just hate and division? I don't think so. So unless we could have these real conversations like me and you have, things will never get fixed.
And think about this. You had that Tyler video. Has anybody proven anything that was said wrong there? You know, the funniest part about the Tyler video is this. If you're not from the Orthodox community, everything that was shown in that video is 100% dead on balls accurate. If you are from that community, it's all lies, right? But again, nobody's ever stopped to discuss what is actually real, what is actually fake in there. So let me do this because, there was some controversy with that. Let's talk about Tyler really fast. Tell me about your experience with him. Let me ask you this question. Based off of your personal dealings with him, do you think he came in there with a hate Jew agenda?
No, I'll just go right from the beginning here.
Let's go.
I didn't even know who Tyler was.
Yeah.
Like he messaged me because he's like, when I mentioned Lakewood, I got a bunch of messages saying I need to talk to you.
Yep.
I was like shocked. I was like, really? Me? I'm like, who the hell am I? Like, you're like a 8-9 million subscriber person on YouTube. I'm like, you're a big deal. Apparently, I didn't know who he was. When I looked him up, I was like, wow, he's got some cool videos.
Yeah.
And I don't think he really came from a place of hate. And I think he tried to be fair. I think he did have
he had a slant. He had an idea where he wanted to go.
He definitely had a slant, without a doubt. And I have no problem admitting that.
But was it a slant, Chris? The truth is not a slant. He spoke to you. He spoke to me. He spoke to a lot of different people that were involved. He had prior experience with a particular group of people that he knew he was going to be encountering. And he knew what we were talking about was actually real. So he came in there to get the conversation going. Yeah. Right. I don't think it was a slant. I think it was like that's the part of it. Was it a slant? No, it's real. What is happening is 100% verifiable. I don't think that's slant, but I get where you're coming from.
No, I think he's fair, though. I think he's very fair in what he does, whether you want to admit it or not. I think he's a real ballsy guy, and but I like that about him. I think that's why he is who he is. And I think it's good to have that conversation. And you want to get into what was covered in the video. He never claimed fraud. He went in there and he was exploring what was going on. And yes, is the system being taken advantage of? Yes. Has there been claims against other ethnicities about taking advantage of the system? Yes.
Yes.
And if it's happening in your community, you should be pissed off about it too. And I think there are a lot of people in the Jewish community who hate that people do that.
They look really bad because of it.
Yeah.
And it reflects on them. And it's sad because one of the things that I hear all the time, Chris, is I hate that they go, Mike, I like your videos. I don't like how you lump all of us together. And my response to them all the time is, listen, I'm sorry, but you don't get to live in an insulated, segregated community and reap all the benefits from it without taking some of the shots, right? If you are one group of people that are moving in one group of people's way, there's no individuality in your community. Therefore, you are going to wear all the bad as well, because unfortunately, you look like one group of people. You don't have someone like Mr. Whispers in Tyler's video shutting everybody up, bro. If it's an individualistic society, I'm sorry to say it, but it's just the truth. So you can't bask in the good and not bask in the bad. It's just what happens. Now, if you would like to join us, I want you with us because I am fighting for you too. I don't like the fact that some of the Jewish people that I have worked for personally, that I love their kids, I love their families. I spent 3 weeks at their house every single day doing their backyard. I get called back there, for little minor repairs and all that stuff, and I get to see the kids again. I do feel bad that I have to speak in a way to where it almost reflects negatively on them. But I need them to join us here because, again, I want one community, not two separate ones.
I agree. I think that's what we all want. I think we want one united community where we can live together, work together, frequent the same stores, take part in the same services. There's a division, and I don't know if we're ever going to be able to fix that division. We're going to try, but I don't know. I'm just one guy,
So what was your aim when you did that Tyler video? Because it could have went awkward for you.
I wanted to get the conversation going.
Okay.
I'd rather be a voice in it than not be in it. That's my mindset. He's going to do the video no matter what. I'd rather have my voice in it than not be in it. That's where I'm coming from.
I was the same exact way because I think I do want to be on the forefront of this. I want to be on the forefront of helping out a community that seems hopeless. I don't like the fact that everybody around me says Brick is over with, Jackson's over with, Tom's River's over with. We have to get out now. Get out now. This is you're going to lose your house. You're going to lose your schools. Your kids are going to lose this. I don't find that right.
Here's the thing. What if he spoke to somebody who was genuinely hateful? How would that look upon everybody else in the community? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think
it's better off to have a voice like yours or a voice like mine on there who's speaking about the actual issues and what's happening. I think it's better to have voices like that, because he's going to show both sides, and I believe he did.
I think he did, and I made that video where it was imagine if they handled it differently. Imagine if we didn't get kicked out. Imagine if the rabbi sat us down and spoke to us. Just imagine if we were welcomed when those cameras got there. And you know what I would have loved to have done with Tyler, if I was thinking about it, was just go to a non-Jewish community, go to a non-Jewish supermarket, go to a non-Jewish complex, just to notice the difference in overall attitude and behavior. I don't think we would have gotten kicked out if we were walking into a ShopRite with cameras. I really don't think we would have I don't think the cops would have been called on us. I don't think any of that would have taken place. I think we would have been able to ask people questions without Mr. Whispers coming up, and it's one of those things where, our voice needs a little bit of a push. That's what I like. And you're right. I wanted to be a part of that video so we can get the message out in a right, proper manner, not to give fodder to the hateful, because I don't think he made me or you look hateful at all. And he could have. I said some things where he could have just, Like I said all the gamut. I said some of the nasty stuff, and I said some of the.
He could have made you look like a real piece of garbage. I bet
He could have made you look like a real piece of garbage too.
I know he could have.
Just by even like taking the exact same stuff that you said to him and phrased it in a different context. You know, he could have. I would have been. What was I? The Goyim spokesperson. You know, I would have.
You know what, Mike? I'm going to interrupt you right in the middle of this because I brought you a gift today.
Oh yeah,
I brought you a gift.
What is this?
This is well deserved. This is well deserved.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to put this on. Hold on a second. Let's put this on. Do I want to? Let's see. First off, I'm gonna leave the tag on, but I ripped these tags off. Let's go. Let's put it on.
It's well deserved.
Let's go. I am the Goyim spokesperson, and I will take it. That's funny. That came right from him. But Tyler and I had this conversation, right? We had the. Do I leave the sticker? No, I'm going to leave the sticker. No, I'm leaving the sticker on for this. 100%. I love this. To a new level. Oh my! I love this. Look at this shirt, dude. This is badass. Get it at Center Cut Media. www.Center Cut Media. When I get these shirts going, this is going to be the first shirt that goes up there. Goyim spokesperson. But when I was the Goyim spokesperson, I you did. I totally forgot where the hell I was going with this. This is phenomenal. By the way, I judge people by the quality of their shirts. Okay. This typically, ask my wife, I don't put on a shirt without it being washed because I don't like the feel of it. This is really comfortable, dude. And my arms look diesel in it too, right? Good so fit. We're good. This fits perfect. Well played, sir. Well played. But I could have been. I know where I was going. He could have really said to me, said on this thing, I met up with the anti-Semite of the year, Mike Calderies. Listen to this. Now, if he phrased it that way, everything I say from there is now going to be viewed as hate, right? When I say Semite supremacy, it's hate. It's not coming from a logical perspective where it's like, no, I mean, if it was a different group, they would be supremacists. Like that's just, judging it. I know I don't want to put that on you, but when I said that in that video, he could have framed it however he wanted to do it. And I think he was very fair with me. I think he was very fair with you. I think he was very fair with Richie. I listened to that entire interview. I don't think Richie
said some nasty stuff.
But he doesn't realize he's saying it nasty, Chris.
He doesn't. It's funny. Guys like him don't realize they're being really honest in what they say and how disgusting it is towards everybody else. You can even go through, and he basically just alludes that everybody who's non-Jewish are just a bunch of violent drug addicts who break the law and don't care about their neighbors.
He said that on multiple occasions.
And
those are his words, everybody. That's not, you're not making that up.
That leaders in that community look at non-Jewish people that way. That's racist.
It is. And that's an insight. Like if I was to sit back and I would say the exact same things that he said in the manner in which he said them, he says them as he's praising Jewish people. But while he's praising them, he is ripping into non-Jewish people, and that's just the reality.
Just not understand it. Like,
again, they're too much of an insulated bubble. That's really what I think. Yes, they don't understand that.
Do they understand that that's hatred towards us? Do they not?
They don't. He doesn't. He clearly doesn't think so.
Empathetic towards anybody else outside of their group? Is that what it is?
So, but think about this. If you grew up your entire life and you didn't live life outside of one solitary group of people, imagine if I went to school or you went to school with just Italians, and all day, every day, I was surrounded by only Italians. I didn't watch TV with Irish people or German people. I was just Italian here, Italian there, Italian everywhere. It's like, it's like little green eggs and ham. But if you grew up like that, and then all of a sudden you start running into everybody else that's in the world, you're going to have a completely warped sense of who those people are. And the second that those people throw shade at you with your actions, you're going to think of it, you just hate who I am, because that's what you were taught. If I was taught where it was like, you're Italian, you're hated, just because you're this, right? If we were taught that, we would have a one-way insulated approach. It's kind of like when you get into Washington or when you get into politics. You get into politics, you change. All of a sudden, you forget about what it's like to live in real world, and now you're in this political world. when you have these insulated bubbles, you don't know how you affect everybody else, and you don't know how you affect, like, you don't know what the words you're saying. Even though you're trying to pump up your people, you're doing so in a manner where you're calling everybody else piles of garbage, and you don't even realize that you're doing it.
And they do. I get what you're saying, and it's funny. It goes against, I feel like, what America is supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Isn't the whole idea we're unified as Americans? We do have our own unique cultures and traditions, but we still are all together, and that's the beauty of America. That's the idea. That's what separates us, I think, from certain other countries and places around the world, is that we are truly united as being Americans, as different as we are, as far separated as these jerk-off fucking governments try to make us. We're still all Americans, and we're missing out on that in a lot of ways in this country, and it's happening right here in our freaking backyards.
It is, man. Let me ask you a question. Like, we have, is there anything else you want to touch on? Because we're about an hour, right? I know we had some technical difficulties early on. But what else was there anything that we didn't touch on, that you wanted to touch on, as far as, like, you know, do you view the anti-Semitism, or that the what's like your biggest problem in Jackson? Let me ask that, because I mean, I think Tyler exposed a lot of problems in Lakewood, and I think those problems are big, right? But what do you view as the biggest solo problem, I guess, that's facing Jackson, that you're going to be working on? You, Elliot, Amanda, you know, your team.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's a lot. I think the biggest problem is money.
Interesting.
I mean it. I mean it. Like, when I really sit here and think for a second, the biggest problem in everything is money. Money is the driving factor in everything. And whether you realize it or not, it's the driving factor in every decision made by your officials, from your local level up to the president. And you can see it in everything. We need to get money out of politics. It is, how do I trust any of our elected officials to make the right decision when they're taking donations from the very people that they're hiring to work for the town? From the very people that are getting these development deals, are having PACs with them, are receiving tons of money from them. How do you trust their decision making? This is why I'm different from everybody. I refuse. I don't care if I lose a freaking election. Why would I be in a Tyler Oliveira video? Does that help my election? I don't think so. I think it pisses a lot of people off. It gives people ammunition to go against me. Why the hell am I here talking to you, Mike? Is this helping me?
Well, I'm sexy as hell, and I'm the Goyim spokesperson.
Mike,
no, it doesn't help you.
I kicked their ass in the election.
Kicked their ass.
I could have coasted by, I'm friends with everybody, I'm good with everybody, and got into another election real freaking easy. I don't take the freaking easy path, man.
No, you definitely didn't.
I take the hard path because the hard path is the way to truth.
And it tortures you, bro. Like a lot of people don't realize this is like, you know,
you're right.
Chris and I talk at least once a week, right? And one of the things that I will say about him is that this dude is tortured in what you're doing. It's something that I could, you know, when you say, you started off this interview by saying, I hate doing this. And, you know, it reminds me of like the Gladiator movie. You know, when Russell Crowe was being told by the king that the king wanted him to take over. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm not, I'm going to make
that movie, of course.
Yes. And Russell Crowe was like, with my whole heart, I don't want to do this. And the king looked at him and said, but don't you understand? That's why it must be you. And now everyone's asking me, like, what are you going to run for? So I'm not running for shit. I'm going to be the dude in the back throwing bombs at people asking questions, right? But you need people. Now, if it happens to where I run, I may run, right? But you are genuinely a dude that does not want to be doing this. So why are you? Like, why are you doing this again? Knowing what you're going to face, knowing that you're in the position where it's like you're running uphill and you're never going to stop running uphill. What's a reason? Like, give me a reason, like a real one, honestly. Like, why the hell did you want to put yourself in this position?
If not me, then who? It's that simple. I didn't see anybody else stepping up to be that person. Nobody who was tough enough, nobody who was strong enough to go against them and fight back. That's why I did it. I didn't see anybody else with the balls to do what I did. And if there is, do it. Come on, man. I want to support you. I wasn't going to run. I wasn't supposed to run. I was going to let somebody else run. And then they said no. And then nobody was going to do it. And I stepped up because I had to. It didn't feel like I had a choice. This is who I am. Mike,
I didn't have a choice to start this.
This isn't a good thing for my life. I work a full-time job in the city that is not a great job. Listen, it's a good job, but it's not a great job for me. It's difficult. I'm getting older. I got to work on rooftops. I got to do dangerous things all the time. It's not easy. And then I run a business. I teach martial arts. I love that. But you know what? Running a business is a huge responsibility. And then I took on this. And I have to be there for my wife. I have to be there for my son. Mm-hmm. Mike, my heart breaks like on a regular basis because I'm so freaking busy. And I got to worry about how to deal with all this town stuff. Mm-hmm. I got to work my job. I got to run a business. And I can't spend enough time with my family that I don't feel like I'm being the greatest father all the time. I like Mike. It kills me.
Yeah.
But I have to do these things because this is our home. This is our town. This is our future. So I have to fight and I have to do something. And to be honest, I don't know if I'm going to win in the end. To be brutally honest, I don't freaking know, but I'm going to continue fighting no matter what. Because what other choice do I have?
Yeah, no other choice. And one of the things that people say to me, when they give me that, oh, this is a lost cause. You can't win this. It's a fight you can't win. Well, you don't take all fights that you think you can't win, right? Because if you ask me, I don't get involved unless I think I could do something positive. And it's what I do like about you, Chris, is you have a tortured but positive attitude. I'm being serious. I
think you described it pretty on point.
Yeah, I think you 100% don't want to be doing what you're doing, but you do feel like you're in a position to be able to do it. And that's when I thought about running for mayor of Brick. And then I ultimately started this. I said, how can I help? Honestly, how can I make the biggest difference for the people that I see need to make a difference? I see having like you, I do believe represent the people's interest. I think you're very minimum number of politicians I could say this about, but I don't feel like I'm sitting next to a politician. I feel like I'm sitting next to a dude. I do believe you have the people's interest in mind, even if you do have bigger ambitions, right? Which I'll ask you about that in a second. But I started this the exact same way because how could I help the biggest group of people? And I think I can help the biggest way by doing this, by bringing them people like you, bringing them people like Morty, having the conversation, because that's the only way any of this is going to get done. And you definitely, it's been it's positive and tortured. And that's what I like about it, because you don't want to be there. You don't want to be in the position. And that's really, we need more people like you to step up that do not want to be in these positions, man. Because it's the only way we're going to have change. And the fact that you're not bought and paid for by all these people. Are you a Republican? What are you?
I'm a Republican.
Okay.
I think the Republican Party is absolute trash. I think the Democrats are trash as well, though. So it's
locally, it really doesn't make a difference. So.
I'm really independent. And I think we're hitting a time. It's a really interesting time in our country because I think people see that the two-party system is no good for anybody. It's at the end of the day, they agree on a lot of the same stuffs that destroy our country. They're going to sell us out. They're going to keep spending and spending and spending, no matter how much they say they're about fiscal conservatism. They're just going to blow the budget time and time again. You can say you're not against foreign wars and then get us up in foreign wars. The Democrats can say they care about the environment while destroying the environment. They're all full of it. I'm just a man apart. I'm a man on my own. I'd say I'm a populist more than anything else, because it's really your job as an elected representative is to serve the people. And that's what you should be doing.
It's serve the Constitution too. One of the things that I think definitely gets missed in a lot of this, bro, is the fact that the Constitution should be resolute in everything that we do. And you should not have select group of people that have favorable laws into them that go against others. I do believe that we are free to do certain things. But yeah, I think we represent the Constitution. Sadly, the Constitution isn't being represented by a lot. When you have special interests that do what they want, That's not how. That's our system was designed to protect people like me and you, to give us a voice. And when you have a situation where our voice is being stifled, like yours, like being canceled on Facebook, like being canceled on all these other platforms, the fact that they could cancel a political representative is kind of insane, if you ask me. But dude, it's something that I think all of us should be fighting way more for. And so you are a Republican, right?
I am.
Okay.
I'd say I lean to the right on certain issues, but
So when it comes down to it, we're all right here, bro. I don't give a shit what anybody says. We're all right in the middle. We say we're from here, but we're all right here.
No, it's about doing what's right for the people. At the end of the day, there could be a leftist policy. I don't care if I think it's a good thing for my town. That's what we're going to do.
Let me ask you a question. One more. We'll finish up on this. To all of the Orthodox that are looking out there, looking at you, saying, I can't vote for this guy because he hates, or whatever reason that they're saying. But I want you to direct them directly. You said it's what's good for all people is what you just said right there. Sir. How do you believe that your actions and what you say and how you go about things are actually good for that community as a whole?
Well, I think I'm the guy fighting against the development. I'm the guy fighting for a better community for everybody. Whether you
it's not just one community.
No.
Okay.
No.
So you're fighting for everybody.
I understand my place and my role is it's not, only these people get a voice. You have a voice too. Everybody in this community has a voice. Every voter has a voice. Listen. I might not always agree. You might not agree with me. I might not agree with you, but I'm willing to listen to people. And you got to understand that it's not a knock against one group or another. It's to me, it's what you're doing for the whole. And that's my thing. Listen, you're going to vote for me or not. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to do what I think is right for everybody. That's what you have to do.
That's what you have to do. And now, I guess, let me give everybody your final thoughts. Everybody in that community, whether it's religious, non-religious, Jewish, non-Jewish, white, black, purple, Asian, Hindu, everybody that makes up Jackson. Finish up like this, Chris. What are your priorities? What are your team's priorities? And why should all of the people of Jackson, not just one group of people, not just one religion, why should everybody in Jackson vote for you?
Well, I think, myself, Elliot Shemtov, and Amanda Trebetta are all united in fighting for the people of this town, every single person. We're not here for outside interest. We're not here for developers. We're not taking money from any of these people. We want to get the right people working for this town. We want to fight for what's going to be right for our future. We're not bought and paid for. We're the people fighting. We're the people against the system. And we're going to try to make this town run better for everybody. It's going to be very difficult. We're going to be up against a lot of money, a lot of influence, but we're the ones fighting for you, whether you're from one community or another. And that's it.
And it's, I think people need a voice like yours, bro. And one of the things I'm going to appeal to everybody, and this goes for both sides. And I mean this. If you want to have positive relations with everybody inside your community and not just one group of people, you have to be involved. You have to speak. You have to talk. But most importantly, everyone has to work together. This man can't do it by himself. I can't do it by myself. The truth of the matter is Kuhn can't do it by herself, and Morty can't do it. Well, Morty probably could do it more by himself because he has some more backing than we have, right? But what you heard here is if we want to affect the positive change in our neighborhoods, in our county, in our towns, we have got to do this together. Can't be one person doing it. You need at least 3 on the council, but it takes way more than 3. It takes thousands, and you have thousands. You know what I'm saying? So, Chris, man, really appreciate you joining me today, bro. Is there anything that I did not touch on as far as, questions or any of that you wanted to talk about before we wrap it up? Is there anything else that you wanted to speak about that we didn't speak about? Just kind of tossing that out there before we leave.
Well, I just want to let everybody know that you have power. This is one of the things I've been trying to, defeat and go against is this, my vote doesn't matter. What power do we have? I'm a testament to that. You can rise up and make a difference in some way. I mean it. I'm a living testament to that. I was a nobody, just a pissed off resident. And then I won this office against some big money and big power. And now I'm running again. I'm making waves in our local community. It's crazy.
You were just featured in a 10 million view video that got over 100 million views when you factor in all of the different stuff. When you look at our paths, somehow they cross, bro. But we started doing the same thing. You're just a worker. I'm just a worker. I'm a mason contractor. And you're right. When you say that, dude, we could do big things. We have the power. That's 100% accurate.
Just step up and do it, guys. Like, let's go. Just keep pushing, keep fighting, keep working, keep speaking up, show up to meetings, or run for office. These parties do not have the power. This country's been run off the political system of the Republicans and the Democrats, the party system controlling everything, who gets elected into office, big money, big corporations, all of them have been pulling the strings. It's time for the people to rise up and make a difference. And hopefully, like one day, I'm going to tell you, people are going to get real pissed off more and more and more. And then real grassroots people are going to rise up from the bottom and change things. That's my hope.
I think we're right there, Chris. I think you're right there. I think you're on the forefront of it. You know, the attacks I think are disgusting that have happened. One of the reasons why people don't want to run for politics is because of what you went through, and the fact that you're wearing it. Dude, it's really good for the people. I hope they appreciate it. I hope they show up for you. And what you said, we have the power. We have it all. It's what they don't get. You have to get your head out of the sand and join people like this, because when you do, you realize real quickly how much one little video that me or you made, even before we got any recognition, it made a big difference. They responded. And I hope everyone gets that message. It's a great message. Chris Pollak, let me tell everybody, thank you very much for joining, bro. Thank you for being the first ass in that chair. You're breaking it off nicely. You got a little butt. All right, so I'm going to break in right here, guys, and we're going to bring into the stage my man Chris. He is here to update, and I hope you appreciated what you just saw. But there's a big question that if we knew this going into this, I would have asked you then. So, really quick, my man, give us an update on the crackdown here. What's Jackson finding over there?
Well, it's going on with the rental issue, which our town and many other towns are facing when it comes to usually LLCs coming from particular places. What's going on is that they're renting it out to, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 people in a home, a bunch of different families, unrelated, overcrowding the home, creating problems in the neighborhood. And this is an issue I've spoken about, everybody has known about for years. Now we started doing actual annual inspections on the homes, and they're finding out this is happening, as if we didn't know this already. But it's a very good thing. It's a great thing. I support it. You know, there's a little back and forth about whose idea this may have been and who deserves credit. But I'd like to start saying that, you know, where the credit goes to all the people who've been stepping up and speaking up over the years. Because there's been years of people speaking about these problems, bringing them up in meetings, talking about this. And to be honest, the politicians have kind of ignored it. It's great that it's happening now, but to me, it's a bit late. Before I decided to get involved in politics, before I was even considering running for office, this is something I spoke about. The first time I got up and spoke at a council meeting, I said this was a huge problem. And one of my solutions was doing annual inspections. Now, they went on to do it after fighting with me and criticizing me and calling me names and things like that. And then they pretended like this was their plan all along. It's been in the making for years. No. This is legislation. They go and they blame enforcement. They go and they blame the former administration. Meanwhile, they were part of the former administration. You blame enforcement, but as a legislator, in my position on the council, your job is to create legislation that will help enforce rules. You create the rules, right? But this is a good thing. Overall, they want to go around doing things like this. Cool, good. Thank you to everybody who's spoken up in the past. we presented enough pressure over time to force your politicians to act. So they're uncovering a lot of stuff, violations, this, that. I think that police got involved in one of them, but they just started. And from what I'm hearing, in order to do all the rental inspections, it's going to take like 10 months. So it's going to be an ongoing process.
And now I heard that one of the Jackson Strong women, Hope, is behind this. And from what I know about her, she is probably drooling at the chance to prove that, because she's been one of the people that have been screaming about this for a long time as well, you know? So I bet she's drooling at the chance to really see what's going on. And I love that she's going to be, that she's a part of this, because I think she's going to represent that position well. What do you think?
Good. I think so. I think it's good you have somebody who's from the community, invested in the community, doing these things because they're looking out for what's best. It's not somebody who's being paid off, not somebody who's just trying to do a job. It's somebody who genuinely cares about the community. And I think that's a great thing. I might not necessarily agree with how this all has been done and came together. I think it's kind of silly to start a whole new branch of government for this. Meanwhile, you had code enforcement that already did it. You probably could have rolled this out a lot sooner, had people with more experience, and got it done faster with code enforcement. I'm a small government guy, but you know what? I'm just glad it's happening. We also have the property manager registration that came out that the mayor is touting now, like it's her idea. It's actually so it was on my platform when I was running. It's one of my first, I think it was my first ordinance actually that I presented. They did change it a bit, of course, but that's how government works. It's a collaborative effort, which I give them credit for working me with on it. And now these property managers have to have a real estate license. A lot of them are just people who are just posting online and searching to fill up a room with like 30 people. You know, now you have to actually register with the township. If you're doing any of that, if you're doing any type of renting, you have to have a valid New Jersey real estate license. Otherwise, you can be fined. You could receive violations. So I think it's really good because you had actual qualified people. Not to say still some qualified people aren't going to do shady things, because we know those in real estate don't always do the right thing. But
yeah, it's a good step. I got to tell you something. Yeah, I don't care. God's honest truth. I don't care who's taking credit for it, really, because the fact of the matter is, I think it needs to be, I think a playbook of what you find, of how you go about this, has to be put together. I think it has to be brought into Brick. I think it has to be brought into Howell, Toms River, any area that wants it. I think it should. I really think it should be implemented in every single town in New Jersey, because I think this type of stuff is happening all over the place in this state. And that's just the reality of it. Everybody wonders where all the the undocumented people stay. You know, that's all the housing. A lot of it is this, but a lot of it's a lot of other things as well. Yeah, like I don't want to assume who was living there, you know, but I did hear things like there was padlocks on individualistic doors, right? Yeah. And punch codes and different things like that. So
yeah, you have 30, 40 people living in a home. That's not right. That's not safe. That's bad for your neighborhood. Who wants a home with 40 people who are, most of them are strangers, living next to them? It's destroying our neighborhoods. It's forcing people out. And I do have some points of contention with kind of how all this happened, because before all this was happening, they lowered all the fees on bad landlords. They were blasting code enforcement. They cut the funding to code enforcement. And then after we created such a ruckus, all different residents, myself, they decided, oh, we need to do something about this finally. They were saying, oh, there's rules on the book about this. There's rules on the book about it. There's nothing we can do. And then, boom, they finally did something. I wonder where they got that idea from.
Well, if you ask me, they just started the campaign against you guys. So,
well, that's what it is. This is the sad part. It's not about the town to a lot of people. It's about politics. It's about position. It's about power. Your politicians shouldn't wait till it's election season to take action. It shouldn't hit a point where people are so pissed off at you to actually do something. They're only doing it because they're afraid of losing their position. And when they lose their position, they can continue doing the things that they're doing. Need somebody who's just in there to serve and do the right thing. And I don't like making this a weird partisan issue, but it kind of is. Because I don't trust their intentions. I don't trust what they're doing. I think everything's masked. And like I said, people heard in the interview, these people are fake. They're liars.
It's it could be one of those rope-a-dopes, man, where you're doing this stuff for now, and then as soon as you get reelected, all this stuff could stop, and then you go back to business as usual. Who knows? I hope it's not like that, Chris, man. I really hope that you guys can work together. That's the God's honest truth. I really, I hope the goal at the end of the day is everybody figuring out a way to work with everybody else, so we could figure out a way to live together, bro. Any last words on that topic, and then I'll wrap the show up.
No, I think it's positive, though. I think these are good things. We need to keep pushing. I think there's more to do. I think this is a truly great start, but we need to continue pushing and continue fighting on all these issues. We can't just stop here. We have to do more and more and more to make just the best town we can, and that's supposed to be our job.
That's supposed to be our job. All right, everybody. Mr. Councilman Chris Pollak, dude, I really appreciate you joining the Caltrop. Thank you very, very much for coming back on tonight live just to give us a live follow-up, about Jackson out there. Really appreciate you, brother. And I know you had a long day. Go get some sleep. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Later, bud. All right, everybody. Really appreciate it. I hope you like that. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I didn't want to do an interview with him. I wanted to do a conversation. I wanted to have two guys having a talk. And it's the conversation that I think a lot of people in Ocean County have when they're in their backyards or they're with their friends or they're doing some of this type of stuff with a little bit of politics thrown in. So I really appreciate it. If you liked it, share this. Guys, get involved. All right. That's what we always ask you. Locally, we can make a difference. Locally is where it's at. That's what makes a difference in your life. So I really appreciate you guys. If you guys could share this for me, if you guys could do me a favor and touch with the tip of your finger, just touch my like button. My like button loves it when you touch it the right way. And all you got to do is turn it on, make it turn colors. If you like this, guys, subscribe, obviously, hit the notification bell. I am live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got to tell you something. We have the regular show, but I plan on bringing you interviews with many different people. Anybody that wants to sit down in this chair next to me, I will talk to. I will have a real conversation, and I'll have a very honest conversation because certain things need to be said. I'm going to be the person to say them. Really appreciate everybody once again. This Caltrop is out. Later.
So ring the bell.